Welcome to Music in My Ears, the Nigerian Music History channel. Today we dive into the electrifying journey of one of Africa's greatest musical icons, King Sunny Adé, a Juju music legend, global ambassador of Nigerian sound, two-time Grammy nominee, and a man who stood toe-to-toe with a powerful record label in chords. This is not just a story of rhythm and melodies. It is also a story of freedom, resilience, and the fight for artistic control. King Sunny Adé was born Sunday Adeniyi Adegeye in 1946 in Ondo, Nigeria. Coming from a royal lineage, music wasn't the expected path, but destiny had other plans. He joined Moses Olaya's Federal Rhythm Dandies in the mid 60s, honing his craft before forming his own band, the Green Spots, in 1967, blending Yoruba talking drums with electric guitars, pedal steel, and synthesizers. Sunny Ade modernized Juju music and brought it into nightclubs, airwaves, and eventually onto the world stage. His early albums, released under Africa Songs Limited, were instant hits in Nigeria. But behind the hits lay a deep conflict. Sunny Ade's initial label, Africa Songs Limited, was owned by Chief Bolarinwa Abioro, a powerful figure in Nigerian music. Their contracts heavily favored the label, stripping Sunny Ade of control over his master recordings and royalties, with terms that essentially tied him to the label indefinitely, with a royalty of 20 kobo per vinyl, which translates to 15 kobo after promotional expenses on the artist are deducted. This figure was nothing to write home about when compared with what his contemporaries like Ebenezer Obey was earning at their record label. In 1974, after years of frustration with what he saw as exploitative practices, Sunny Ade made a bold move. He left African Songs Limited and established his own label, Sunny Alade Records, in attempt to gain full control of his music and earnings. Chief Abiora sued Sunny Ade for breach of contract, initiating what would become one of the most historic legal battles in Nigerian music history. The case revolved around intellectual property, contractual obligations, and the freedom of artists to break from exploitative deals. It dragged through the courts for years, eventually reaching the Supreme Court of Nigeria. With the legal representation of the late Gani Faremi, a renowned human rights lawyer, Sunny Ade argued for his rights to independence as an artist. The Supreme Court eventually ruled in Sunny Ade's favor, affirming that no contracts could enslave a creative talent indefinitely. Sunny Ade had to pay a 300 naira fine as compensation to the label, which was insignificant considering the 1 million naira the label was asking the court to compel Sunny Ade to pay for the compensation of breaking the contract. The judgment was groundbreaking. It not only freed Sunny Ade from his previous obligations, but also set a legal precedent that empowered Nigerian musicians to fight for their rights and demand fairer contracts. This victory reshaped the Nigerian music industry and marked Sunny Ade not just a musical pioneer, but a champion of artists' rights. He is also the first president of the Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria, PMAN, having taken that office in 1982.
Synchro System.
By the early 80s, King Sunny Ade caught the attention of Chris Blackwell, the visionary behind Bob Marley's international rise to fame. Blackwell signed him to Island Records, making Sunny Adé the first Nigerian artist to break into the Western pop market. Albums like Juju Music 1982, Synchro System 1983, and Aura 1984 followed, blending traditional Yoruba instrumentation with synthesizers, drum machines, and global appeal. Synchro System earned him his first Grammy nomination, while his elaborate live shows stunned audiences in Europe, America, and Japan. King Sunny Adé received Grammy nominations in 1984 and again in 1999 for Odu. Though he didn't win, he became a symbol of African excellence on the global stage. His concerts were mesmerizing, dancers in vibrant costumes, guitarists weaving hypnotic riffs, and Sunny Adé himself commanding the stage like a cultural general. From the Hollywood Bowl to Montreux Jazz Festival and WOMAD, which is Wall of Music and Dance, he played to sold out crowds and introduced millions to the joy of Juju music. In 1989, King Sunny Adé teamed up with the late songstress Onyeka Onwenu to release Wait For Me and Choices for the planned parental population control campaign. These songs are still regular on the airwaves till date. On the whole, King Sunny Adé has released more than 100 records and is still waxing strong in the Nigerian music scene even at the age of 78 years, which he is this year, 2025. What do you desire? What do you have under? King Sunny Adé isn't just a musician, he is a music entrepreneur. The Sunny Alade Records became a heaven for creative control. Later, he established Sigma Disc Records to further support Nigerian artists. Through these labels, he signed Obi Onyoha on Sunny Alade Records for her second album, Break It, and supported talents like Shina Peters, who would go on to revolutionize Afro Juju music in Nigeria. King Sunny Adé also signed Victor Echet and the Mandators on the Sigma Disc label for the Storm album in 1992, which was the last Nigerian recorded album for the Mandators before the group left for United States of America. His labels weren't just business ventures, they were incubators for innovation and independence. King Sunny Ade's story is one of vision, courage, and artistic mastery. He gave Nigerian music its wings and showed that even giants can be challenged in the courtroom. From battling for his rights to pioneering modern juju, from local fame to global stages, Sunny Ade's legacy is cemented as a beacon for African musicians. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep our musical heritage alive. And it was brought to you by the Fuji and Juju Music series of Music in My Ears, the Nigerian Music History channel on YouTube. We are signing out until the next story of a legend who moved our hearts and our feet. Peace.